you've mentioned a couple times, the UHT, the ultra heat treated products, which are
Yeah.
obviously more shelf stable. Have you seen the need to approach or offer more components into our portfolio, like these, aseptic type of equipment, gaskets for, aseptic valves?
If you look into our product portfolio, the aseptic version components is one of our high runners, definitely, for the old ARC valve. And
Okay.
I think we should keep more focus on the new SSV aseptic version, because the install base of this valve is quite high already.
Right.
I know there's been some testing done in the US. Also, we have also been involved in Europe. I think that's one of the places where we should focus a little bit more, not only on the alpha valve parts, but also the SPX valve and the Tugendhaken valves.
Yeah.
Because they are install base for that equipment around in Europe. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen. I know when I was with Tugendhagen, they had acquired shortly before I left Aseptimag, and that footprint in the U.S. was increasing on top of Tugendhagen's pre-existing aseptic line, and there's quite a few versions, and there's been much more of a demand for those products with this ultra heat treated products out there. So.
Yeah, but back to your question before, question to you, Dave, about product we needed in the process line. We talked about aseptic versions now. I have a feeling here in Europe, they're going to change from EPDM to HNBR if it's possible. That's also one of the areas where we need to look into in the future.
Right.
That's my point of view here from the information I get from Europe, where in US that was EPDM and Viton was the most common. And if you're not able to do something else, you upgrade it to Viton.
Right.
That's not the point of view we want here.
Right.
I think HNBR it's coming to be for the future. Have you the same experience in US?
I think you summed it up perfectly. I would say 90% of the installations seem to be EPDM. It's often you get an inquiry and no one specifies their gasket, so you always just quote EPDM. You deal with FKM in the case of high fats, so someone who's handling straight cream, things like that. Soda facilities, when they're running their raw concentrates, would often use the FKM. HNBR is almost unused. I see it occasionally for high fat products where someone will go to that option as opposed to FKM. The other big area I see HNBR, and I think it's often overlooked, is in the breweries. We talked about how they don't have as high a need for maintenance. However, on their hot wort, anything that seems to be handling hot wort, EPDM has issues. And from my experience, the breweries I've worked with, HNBR seems to be a fantastic solution to that, where particularly they're running a lot of butterfly valves, something that has, more torsional force on it, and the EPDM will swell and they cannot physically open the valve. And I've dealt with a lot of craft brewers because they're dealing with stuff with high alpha acids, these very hoppy beers in the US, and they'll switch to HMBR in those cases, and it seems to resolve their issues. So we still do not get a lot of inquiries for HNBR. It is definitely EPDM #1, followed by FKM.
Yeah. I think we need to think out of the box in that direction. We're working quite. We are IB InBev in Belgium. They have the headquarter, and there's 3 big sites we are working on in Belgium as well. So if that could be a door opener to the rest of the InBev breweries around the world,
right,
that could be quite interesting for us. But I think we in the what do you call that? Where we discuss all the products and new developments, we need to think in that direction as well.
Yeah. I think ultimately for most customers, it's costs. It comes down to the bottom line. I think they're willing to try it if it's cost effective. If it's a cost effective alternative. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So. Well, Jesper, I think that pretty much does it for all the questions I have for you today. So thank you very much for taking the time to chat today.
You're welcome. I will always be there if you need some good answer, and I hope you can use them as well. It's quite interesting to hear your version from the US. I don't think there's that big difference between Europe and US. You probably have much bigger sizes of plants that we have over here. But as you know, we working with to fulfill a big contract with Danone as well.
Right.
And we have big inquiries from here. We also delivered from sites to Belgium and Spain as well. And now they're going to have, and there will come inquiries from US plants to you as well.
Yep.
During this contract. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's that will going to be for the future.
Yeah, that's very exciting, especially with some of the.
And AB InBev is very interested in our product as well. So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, and that's definitely fantastic news. I mean, Anheuser-Busch has 12 breweries in the U.S. And I'm pretty familiar with all of their products because, again, I worked with Tugendhagen previously, and I think all of their mixed fruits are Tugendhagen, along with a lot of the major breweries in the U.S. So, and Dannon as well, very, very heavy install base with Tugendhagen PMO valves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jesper. Take care.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.